Good morning, lovelies. I have an exceptionally jam-packed day today, purely by choice, because I need to wrap some things up. I caught up with I guess it's my mastermind group last night. And each of us has the opportunity to step up with an issue or a problem or something that we're having difficulty with in our careers, in our business life, in our writing life. And to just lay it out, and everyone brainstorms it to find a way through, find a way forward. And quite organically, I ended up on the table last night, one of my issues with looping back around into editing an already published novel. Now, I know this about myself. It's one of my safety valves. It's one of my little safety loops. I get a fright, I get scared, I get nervous and blocked about stepping into the next thing. And so I find there's a reason something happens, and I'll loop back around into an area that I've already been in for a really long time and I feel really comfortable with, and it feels safe. And so in this instance, by the end of our conversation last night, I finally realised that when I started writing Embodying Earth, which is the experiential guide, it's a non-fiction book, and the whole idea of it is that I pull the magic out of the magical realism novel that I've written and lay all of the magic out into a guide, and I walk the reader through it. I hold the space, I create the ritual, I help people to use this magic in their own lives and help them to realise that not only is it possible, but we do it every day and don't even think about it. But if we do it intentionally, it can be really powerful. And of course it was really powerful because in the writing of this book, I'm doing it. I'm guiding myself through these activities, and they're really a lot deeper than I had anticipated they would be, which really shouldn't be very surprising because I've only been working with myself for my whole life, and I know how deep I generally go. I'm not a surface person. I will dive beneath the surface into the deepest, grittiest parts every time. That's just the way I do things. And so I don't know why I was surprised, but and so I got a fright because I was doing some really deep work, and so I looped back around. Oh, Affery's Earth isn't good enough. It's just not right. I need to make it better. I need to make it worthy of people's eyes, of people's time. If they're going to read this novel, it has to be the best thing that I could possibly do. Now, it was the best thing that I could possibly do at the time that I published it. Of course, it was. But it can be better because, reasons. And so I looped back around to that safety net. And so the most powerful question asked of me at the mastermind meeting last night was, what do you need? And so I said that I need to unplug. I need to be unplugged from this loop. I need to short circuit the loop so that I can move on. And there are lots of different techniques to do this, but for me, accountability is my number one. If I have to be accountable to somebody over something, then I will do it, because damn it, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be judged. And so knowing that fear about myself, I feel like I'm kind of, just tipping it on its head a little bit and using it for good, in that calling on these trusted people who I trust with my most vulnerable self and my art. And I can say to them, okay, how about I give myself to the end of the week, and come Monday, you all check in with me And no matter where I am in the edits, that's it. Whatever changes I've made, I can upload, I can create a new manuscript and republish a second edition. But that's it. And then, until I've finished the entire series, I am not allowed to go back and read that book again. And so that's that is the proposal I put to them, and that is what I've asked them to do. So on Monday, I dare say I'm going to get a flurry of calls and shout outs and, come on Sondra, that's it. This is the end. This is what you need to do now. And knowing that's coming, it gives me that deadline. So I work really well to deadlines and I work really well to expectations. I try to give that to myself, but sometimes the fear kicks in and I loop back around and I need someone else to hold me. And so I ask for help. And sometimes it's not merely the asking for the help, but the accepting of the help. And I feel so held and so safe to do what I need to do. And I've created that framework where I now have permission to just let it go and move on to the next thing. And so come Monday, the releasing will begin and I will be letting it go then. And then for the next few years, I am not allowed to go back and reread that book, except for, you know, in the writing of the following books, the following 4 books in the series. But no changes are allowed. And so I feel really lucky that I have a group of really smart, savvy, artistic business people around me. And that, my darlings, is the value of connection and community, finding the people who speak your language and just treasuring them. And thank you for showing up for me today. This is another way that I allow myself to be held, and I'm really glad that you're here, and I'll see you tomorrow.